Good morning, everyone. Welcome into North Dakota Today. Right now, we're taking a moment to focus on our kiddos' health. With the weather heating up by the end of this week and weekend, that means your kids may be more prone to dehydration. Dr. Stephanie Hansen is here from Sanford to tell us how to keep our kiddos from overheating. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So good to see you, Dr. Hansen. And right in the time, we expect a really big warm up by the end of this week and this weekend, getting to the 90s. What does that mean for young children?
Well, young kids can overheat. They can suffer some of the ill effects of heat just like adults can, and elderly people can too.
Okay, so there's some things that we need to look out for, huh?
Absolutely. Kids, they want to be outside, they want to be playing and being active, and sometimes it's hard for them to know when to take a break or how to take care of themselves in the heat. So, we as their adults need to make sure that we're helping guide them in that.
I think a lot of times too, maybe you're around a pool or you're out on the river or you're at the lake, so you're not necessarily realizing that you yourself or your kids are dehydrated.
Right.
Because you're like, we're near the water, everybody's cooling off.
Yeah.
But what are some things we need to look out for?
Yeah. Well, those water activities are a great way to stay cool. So if you're at the splash pad, the pool, or like you said, tubing on the river, but you got to make sure that you're drinking water throughout that, and maybe even more than you might realize. So I would say, have those water bottles, make sure you're offering it to your child periodically throughout that time, just to make sure that they're staying safe.
Okay, and now I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. What about the kids who don't like drinking water? How do we feel about Gatorades or those type of drinks that are targeted and geared towards saying replenishing electrolytes?
Right.
This is really just my curiosity. How do we do this?
Kids don't need those extra electrolytes unless they're really sweating heavily or training hard. But if that's the thing that it takes to get your child to drink and drink regularly, maybe alternating it with water, maybe doing some of those things just to kind of help keep them drinking.
Well, I've also heard of people just watering down specific juices too, where they're like, they don't want to give the full concentrate to the kid.
A lot of people will do that just to add a little extra flavor or color to the drink, just to entice their kid to take more.
Yeah, see, it's juice. Okay, that's great. So what are some symptoms though of extreme heat?
Right.
And maybe exhaustion in young children?
Yes.
How do we look out for this?
If you see your child getting really fatigued or sluggish, if you see them having decreased urine output, in extreme cases they might act confused or have a loss of coordination. Those are all signs that you need to get out of the heat and take a break.
Are there specific temperatures that we need to really start looking at? Are they lower than what we imagine?
A heat index of above 90 is where we start thinking like maybe need some extra breaks, maybe need to stay out of the sun in the hottest part of the day. Those are some precautions I would take. But there's other things you can do too. Make sure your child is wearing loose-fitting, light-colored clothing. That can help keep their body cool. A hat really helps to kind of protect their face from the sun and from the heat. And then sometimes you just need to seek out air-conditioned spaces. If you don't have air conditioning at home, check out the public library, check out the mall. There's things for kids to do in those spaces, and might be a little bit more comfortable for them and allow them to still stay active.
Okay, so these are our big takeaways from how to prevent this from happening, right?
Yes.
Anything else? Maybe just planning it throughout the week. Okay, we know we're going to have a busy, hot weekend.
Yeah, so kids can get cabin fever in the heat of summer just like they can in the deep of winter. So I think just being a little bit mindful about this is what we're going to do each day to help stave off boredom or that cabin fever.
So overall, just kind of doing a check-in with Sanford, what kind of illnesses or how has it been going health-wise for our region this summer?
We see infectious illness all year round. So a lot of those summertime illness come along with high fever, skin rashes, might have coughs and colds, a little bit of strep throat out there right now, and then the ever-common stomach bug.
Oh man, that thing won't go away, huh?
I know it. We see that stuff all year round.
Okay. And how do we seek out some help? Where do we go?
You could check out sanfordhealth.org for a lot of advice and information, or call our scheduling line at 234-3620.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure. All right, keep those kiddos cool and safe, everybody. We have plenty more coming up right here on North Dakota Today. Stick around.